If it hurts, you ain't breaks, no gates, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, tackle, this win it. First you again, we're here for the first play. Carry my team there 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
All I know is go Vols, because that's all I know. Go Vols!
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
Hey, it's us against the world, fellas. Yeah. It's us against the world, fellas. Don't nobody believe in us. Yeah. Don't nobody believe in us. We don't need nobody to believe in us. I don't believe in you. I believe in you. I know you a dog. I know you a dog. I know we some dogs, man. Hey, all this preparation we put in, all this they talk about, hey, it's time to go release pain, man. It's time to go put in real. Let's go. Tennessee on 2, 1, 2, Tennessee. Ball, Tennessee, ready. Ball, Tennessee, ready. Ball, Tennessee, ready.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols and my guy Boogie Bentley runs. So shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. The boys are here. Coach Jay's in the house. Captain D is with us tonight. Foul Ming is here. We're going to get you guys through I feel like this is a loss. I feel like is this therapy? Is this therapy? Look, man, we're laughing in the back room. Nothing. I said this in the Patreon chat. I said this in our Patreon chat. Just late in the fourth quarter. I said nothing that could have happened today was going to change my mind about how I feel about this football team. If the Vols went out there and won 70-0, it doesn't matter. It's New Mexico State. If they came out flat, if they struggled, if they weren't up for this game, it doesn't surprise me, right? I mean, we talked for 2 weeks now. For 2 weeks, we have been talking. How do you motivate this team? How do you inspire this team? How do you go suit up and go out and play football against a team that you're favored to beat by 40 when you know the college football playoff is off the table? Your goals, your number one goal of a national championship, gone. Your number 2 goal, college football playoff, gone. Your 3rd goal, SEC championship, gone. All that's off the table. And, Coach, you're going to go play New Mexico State. Let's just start there. How in the world do you get fired up? And it's easy for us to say. And you guys had me all fired up Friday morning. Oh, Boogie, it's an opportunity to step between the lines and suit it up and rah-rah. That don't always work with an 18 to 22-year-old coach. It don't always work that way.
It's just Blair. There was a long running joke at my high school. There was this team, Blair High School in Pasadena, that we'd always beat like 70-0. They were always the homecoming game, and it's just Blair. That it's just like a little saying. But Anyway, yeah, that's how it felt, right? Like the team knew it, right? It's just Blair. Hey, we're going to run this team. We're going to go out there. We're going to look like we regressed in places. We're going to be lazy on the offensive line. We're not going to wrap up, and we're still going to kick the crap out of you. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's going to look uninspired, but we're still going to win by a ton of points. And that's exactly what happened out there. So I get why it gave some of the Vol fans out there the old ick, but just kind of unfortunately what you expect, but not what you want as a coach. Like I think Heupel looked pissed, and as a coach, I got to tell you, I'm pissed. Like whenever my team goes out there and shoots that kind of wood, I'm not happy about it. I want them to look sharp, and I've been yelling about attention to detail all off week, all 2 off weeks, and you know what? Attention to detail matters even when it's just quote unquote Blair.
Let's just blend into it here. Captain D, Dustin, opening thoughts on 42-9. Was that the final score? I fell asleep somewhere in the third quarter. I woke up and somebody said we needed to go live. 42-9, your final opening thoughts, Dustin.
Yeah, it was hard to stay awake because we, kind of had it in neutral the first quarter or so, it seemed like, in a lot of ways. Honestly, there's been questions about coaching this whole season, right? Well, ever since things started going not our way, the pitchfork starts coming out, and no coach is ever going to call a perfect game, but this was the first time I actually had a problem with them keeping players in the game too long. You got 4 people hurt. You were up, 28-3 or 35-3, never in question. But I don't know. I don't understand the reasoning there, especially with, the media has talked all off week. This channel has talked all off week about how you got to get the other guys in there, not only for keeping the fire stoked with them and recruits and new players that are developing for next year, but, to keep people healthy. And you drop the ball there. Kitzelman really worries me for next week, including Bishop and Peyton Lewis. Both of them look, and Moy. All 4 of those guys have been dudes for us all year, and we can't afford to lose that. But game wise, I don't have a whole lot to dig into other than, I hope this is not the Joey Aguilar twins that we were worried about all year, or before he came in. Seemed to play pretty solid most of the year, but there's just one of them, I guess you could kind of say, wasn't technically his fault because he got hit, which goes into the offensive line issues. But overall, just kind of a ho-hum kind of game, but glad to get through it. Hopefully they can make adjustments and get into the next 2 games, because we got to win out, just plain and simple.
Vols win, baby. Let's get fired up now. Come on. That's a win. Let's take it.
Oh, wait, what is
That's another check in the win column. Come on,
turning
now.
into me?
We sitting here like
we
we just died. Let's go now. No, all seriousness, I had to get to shake that off, boys. We got to come in here a little something, but no, I'm with y'all. Like it wasn't pretty at times. It wasn't exactly what we wanted, but we knew what it was going to be. You're coming out with a win one way or another. I'm with you guys. The only real complaint I have, if you want to say I have a complaint with a win, is I do think we left guys in too long. We risked some guys and we paid for it. But it kind of seemed like, Heupel never really got over that hump that he was looking for to bring in those guys. Like it was every time you thought, okay, we're rolling, we'll get one more drive, cap it off here with a nice, pretty drive, score, and then we'll get those guys in. And it just didn't happen. Or we're on defense, and it's not like, it's not like they're putting up points, but they're just keeping drives alive. That's where the thing I wrote down was like 24 first downs for New Mexico State. That's the glaring one to me, because it's, if you get a bust or you get something here or there and they get a big play and they score on you, it happens, right? Especially if you got young guys in. But to be able to sit there and drive on you for 24 first downs, that's a problem. But it's a win. It's a win. We needed it. I'd like to have a little more juice rolling into Florida. Let's see what Florida looks like tonight, see what kind of juice they're going to be bringing next week. But man, let's just stay on track. We got one more in the column on the next week.
I think the frustrating thing for me, and it's Boogie's making excuses again. Now, I mean, you look at this thing, and like Dustin said, we all said the same things coming into this thing. Is we want to get the guys off the field, get the young guys in, let them play, and get this thing over with. Step on their throat early. It was 21-3 at halftime. And it just felt so boring. So boring. You still had 243 yards of offense. You were 9 for 13 throwing the football, but it's those 2 interceptions, right? And again, in our Patreon chat during the game, like it felt like doom and gloom, like everybody was making all these mistakes. Like the entire offense was struggling. If Joey doesn't throw the picks, and I'm with Dustin here, I don't want to see a theme here where Joey starts turning the ball over. Earlier in the year, it was easy to validate that, right? One was like a punt. You had 2 that were tipped. You had one where Braylon fell down. Now he's making bad decisions. Now he's forcing the ball when he's getting pressured. That's a problem. And I said this, you do that against Florida, you can get yourself beat. You do that against Vanderbilt, you can get yourself beat. I hope that doesn't become a theme. But again, Joey doesn't throw the picks. Is it 28-3? Is it 35-3 at the half? And now we're seeing the young guys, and kind of overall, you got a different feel about this game. And somebody, again, in the Patreon chat was like, Boogie, that's the problem. It's been that way all year long. And it has been. It's been maddening. It's been the big plays, big mistakes that are killing this football team. Missing the field goal against Georgia, the pick 6 against Alabama, the turnovers against Oklahoma. But you can point to a handful of plays. It's not 60 minutes of failing to execute. It's those moments that you can pinpoint that are a problem. And again, if it's 35-3 at halftime, is Josh Heupel comfortable rolling out those guys? And again, it's just maddening because the game never was in question. Right. Is Josh Heupel? What is it with Josh Heupel and not wanting to play the young guys? And Fowl, you and I kind of laughed about it. We're like, he's gonna send them back out there, and we're gonna be going, why are the backups not in? And that's exactly what we got tonight. Like, you can't be surprised by it.
Now, like if it was upperclassmen that hadn't got to play a lot or those kind of things, I get it. I'll give you guys some time, but it's not like these guys hadn't been in. It's just we need more reps, right? And the guys who, I mean, we're beating a dead horse here, but like why is it? Why can't we get those young guys in earlier? Why do we seem to like look at the second quarter? It's like you put up 7 points in a quarter, 21 points in the half. I mean, but the game was, like you said, the game was never in question. You never felt like anything over the top bad was going on. It's just like, can we get in gear here, fellas? Can we get like a little cleaner, a little crisper? Can we just move up down the field a little smoother? And it's like we just couldn't, we're just dragging through it. And I get it. It's hard to get up for games like this. But, man, you got to look at it as what kind of juice am I bringing in next week? And if you kind of just drag through this one, you can kind of come out into next week in the same mode. And that's what I don't want to see. You don't want to come out against a Florida team that we could knock out early and get that game out of question and just leave them around in the game, Do you want to be, are you comfortable at 21-3 or at Florida and knowing like, well, we're in the lead here, but it's just, we're dragging, right? I know we're talking about New Mexico State, but everything that's going on in this game for me was prep and getting ready and getting in motion for next week. And I'd feel like as a whole for this game, fine, we got the win. We did what we need to do. But did we get enough momentum and juice flowing for next week? I don't know.
Let me catch up with the chat. You guys dropping some super chats we greatly appreciate on this Saturday night. Luke Thompson for 5 says, Dorfy, fun hanging out with y'all in the Patreon chat. GBO, shout out to Luke. You want to be a part of that? We're doing it during the football games. Of course, we're going to be doing it for the Florida game. We're going to be doing it for the Vanderbilt game. But also we're doing it for basketball. I'm creating a weekly chat room for the basketball games. Going to create one for the baseball games as well. You guys asked for that, so we're going to do it. It's good conversation, live, interactive while the game is going on. Seth the Ford drops a $5 super chat, says boom, boom, room entry fee. Shout out, Seth. We appreciate you. Cody Tackett for 10 says this defense is either causing turnovers and TFLs and sacks or giving up big plays in the middle. It's crazy. We got to be more consistent. GBO. Can we get more consistent with 2 games left on the schedule? I think we are who we are. The Griff for 5 says booing his mama to Colorado and the offense looking sloppy right before Florida. I'm trying to not go full Negaval. But damn, We'll talk about Boo Carter here in just a second. Will Dyer for 5 says, here's a door fee to help support the cause. Dog water game. Please let us beat the Gators. Will, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you supporting the cause as well. Bookham Dano for 10, unavoidably detained. Had to smash the thumbs up and share. We appreciate you, Dano. Kevin Smith for 5. For a coach that preaches during doing the fundamentals at a high level, they sure do struggle at it. Thank you, Kevin, for the 5. Wayne drops a 20 spot. That's Orange Boy. That's the top donation of the night. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Wayne for 20 says another dub. All that matters, GBO. I agree with that. I don't think it mattered what happened today. I'm exactly where I was before this game even started. Chandler Matthews for 20. Another Orange Boy will do it.
Rocky Top!
Chandler says, was it just me or should our backups look better against this team? We better get some heart and some energy soon. The swamp is no joke. I lived through the 90s. Let's freaking go Vols. Okay, I agree with that. Like, look, I said the whole week, my thing was not just the backups, not just young guys. I wanted to see George McIntyre. That was it. And, of course, you got Jake Merklinger warming up on the sideline. Around 12 minutes to go in the game. Joey throws that little 7-yarder to Mike Matthews to get him 34 straight games with over 200 yards. Jake gets bounced around, looks like a ping pong ball. He just doesn't look comfortable, man. Like I said it in the Patreon chat. I've said it before on the channel. Jake Merklinger does not look comfortable when he's on the field, period. End of story. You get George McIntyre in 2 series, 2 throws, 1 for 2, 17 yards. You should be able to run it down their throat. It's New Mexico State, man. You should be able to put anybody on that team out there, run it down their throat, move the football. Jake didn't do it. George didn't do it. Coach, any thoughts on Chandler's super chat there?
He's spot on, man. You gotta show a lot more heart in that game. That's what it is. It's just grit, and it's easy to take plays off and to take it lightly. And I thought, like I said, in particular, the offensive line took a lot of plays off. I mean, when they needed to make plays, they could push you around. They showed that when they put out a concerted effort to run the ball, but besides that, it just felt lazy in a lot of areas. Defense felt soft and lazy too. Just, the flats, the slants, right? Extremely lazy, soft. Both those routes were there all night for New Mexico, and that's why they continue to pick up first downs in the manner that they did. So, dead on. This team is capable of playing better defense, for instance, right? We saw it just against Oklahoma, right? They can play better defense than they just played. So they're going to need to come out firing and need to come out not making these little mistakes that we've made. We're capable of doing what Fowl said, of throttling Florida. I think Florida's going to kind of play their Super Bowl right now, try to look good for old Lane, right? And pull them in. But if you look at them, I mean, 9 of their best football players are not playing in this game at the end of the day. So I think that will win out for Ole Miss, even though Florida's up right now. So we're going to have a great opportunity to switch that around in the swamp. But we need to come out with our hair on fire, and we need to come out like we still got something to damn play for. And you've always got something to play for, man. It's that T on Dustin's hat, man. It's that T behind Fowl. It's the T on this damn flag. It's that power T, man. And they need to go out there and represent it a lot better than they did tonight if we're going to come away and break that curse.
Let me catch a few more here. Sword the Demon for 5 says, LOL, you got what you wanted, Boogie, earlier in the week. We aren't happy with the win, and we are moving towards Florida. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's apathy. I don't feel like there's anger. I don't feel like it's wanting to fire Josh Heupel. I feel like I don't freaking care about this football team. I'm going to go out and mow the yard or do something else. And that's the worst place to be as a fan base. VFL Willie's been a member for 36 months. We appreciate you, brother. Jordan Burns sighting. Yeah, I had to look up his number. I was like, who the heck is that? And then it was Jordan Burns. Jackie Pickle drops an Orange Boy. We appreciate you, Jackie. Thank you for the super chat. I'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
We appreciate you, Jackie. Look, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tie a fat bow on this New Mexico State game. We're gonna move ahead and we're gonna talk about Boo Carter and the drama. And I'm going to lay that whole story out. We talked about it earlier in the week. We talked about it on the Tailgate Show, and it went to another level right at kickoff. I want to break all that down. Then I want to look ahead to Florida and to Vanderbilt. So, Dustin, give us anything else you want to talk about from this game. Anybody that stood out to you? I know there's not a whole lot of meat on the bones in a game like this, but any young guys that stand out to you? And I'm going to go ahead and steal Jaden Perlotti. I think we're all on that bandwagon outside of Coach Jay. He doesn't like his tackling fundamentals. He doesn't think he's fast. He doesn't like his athleticism. I do.
No,
I like.
I didn't say any of that, damn it, Buggy. I just said
I thought that's what I read. I thought that's what I read.
All I'm saying is when you're not a 5'7" quarterback from New Mexico running through that power formation, if you're a big SEC, if you're that Mississippi State running back running through that hole and you don't bring your arms with you, he's going to bounce off and run through that. This damn defense hasn't been wrapping up and tackling all this year. And if we're going to celebrate big hits, that's fine. But I'm not celebrating a big hit unless we wrap it up and do it correctly. I'm using that as a teaching experience in that film room. If it's me, I know I got to be the. I know.
That was my direct response to Coach Jay. Is why can't you let us have fun?
I think Perlotti is going to be an amazing football player for us. I just want him to bring his damn arms with him. I just want this team to wrap up. I want him to play good, fundamental tackling football, and they have not done so. Now, Fowl brought up a good point. I mean, as a linebacker, when you see a gap run open up the way it did through that hole, you come through at full speed. And sometimes you don't have time to do anything but knock. But I didn't like how the arms weren't even like a secondary reaction. Like I kind of talked about tackling being muscle memory, kind of like eating, right? Like you don't think fork, meatball, plate, stab, meatball, bring meatball, to mouth, chew meatball. You just eat the meatball, right? Like when you come through the hole, bring your arms with you. That's all I'm saying.
Look, you can celebrate it when Jaden Perlotti does it and you destroy the quarterback and he's seeing stars on the sideline. But when I see somebody in the chat talking about it, Andre Turrentine, when he drops his head and just bounces off guys. And I get where you're coming from, Coach, but it's hard to not get excited when you see Jaden Perlotti fill that hole, bring the violence, and bring that quarterback to the ground. But jump in here, Dustin. Any young guys that stood out or any positives you're taking away, or you just kind of like, it's New Mexico State?
I mean, there were glimpses. I thought we defended the deep passes and the fades and stuff like that a little bit better. There was a few deflections that guys were on guys a little bit better tonight. Again, probably a mismatch in talent for the most part. But there were some flashes, I felt like, in the secondary. It's like the first super chat that we had there. It's like, they can look really good in one moment, and then you get into that 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 11, and then you're like holding your breath to figure out how, or see what's going to happen for them to convert. It's just been a broken record, unfortunately. And I agree. I mean, I feel like just about anything on the edges or in the middle, which is, I guess, everywhere. Defenses have kind of taken advantage of it. So, shout out to Hobbs. He had probably his best game all year. He's definitely, and I thought Ty Redmond stepped up a bit more tonight as well.
Played nice.
I'll just echo you guys a little bit. Not young guys, but just guys that stood out. Like Don Bailey early, you could tell they just couldn't handle him. He showed his elite athletic ability. He was just a step above there and showed it. Hobbs had probably the best game all year that he's played in his limited play. Perlotti, you already touched on that. Redmond with the nice one hand, like the break up there. That was nice. He continues to show good coverage. Colton Hood, I thought, looked really good in coverage. Took some poor angles in some of the tackling and coming up to meet them at the line and things like that. Not bad, just like giving that extra 3 or 4 yards when you didn't have to, or just being off. But all those guys look good today. The only glaring thing, and to end on a good negative note, if the offense, whoever we're facing, doesn't really matter who, because obviously we did it with New Mexico State just now. If they get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly and into space, it's a problem, and we've not adjusted to it. And by adjusted to it, I mean addressed it or by personnel or scheme or something, because it doesn't matter which offense does it. If they get the ball out quickly, because my point was going to be, well, we're missing some Leos, we're missing some edge guys. But if you get the ball out quickly, it wouldn't have mattered. So if they can get the ball out quickly and in space on these edges and across the middle, like we're still struggling with that. And I guess like Boogie likes to say, we are who we are at this point, and it's not going to change. So, but I mean, if I'm Florida or if I'm Vanderbilt, I'm writing these down because I mean, it's there. It's been there since the first of the year. It's still there. This defense is really good in places, but there's places where it's just vacant. And that's just one of them. And New Mexico State should have stuck with it early. They look good doing it, oddly enough, and they should have stuck with it. It wouldn't have made a difference as far as the outcome, but they found a hole, and just good for us. They went away from it.
Yeah, and I'll throw this up to you, Coach, real quick to get your thoughts. To me, I thought I forget which game it is that ate us up. It might have been Bama actually, but that game we did not seem to cover the wide receiver screens and the plays that we throw a lot out to the boundary. I feel like they covered that pretty well tonight, blew that up. They were able to get off tackles for the most part, but there's a difference between that and then them kind of sweeping around the boundary and getting past the line of scrimmage. That's where I feel like it gets hairy. If there's a little bit of if it's just a straight up pass to the side, they're covering that pretty well and busting that up for the most part, because they have to be facing that a lot in practice with the scheme that Heupel runs. But when it's, a man in motion or it's a dump out to the running back, then it's like nobody's there, or the first person
screens.
or the first person gets there and shoulder tackles them, and they keep going for another 4 or 5 yards, like you said. So can you explain a little bit what, like, the difference in approach on those two kind of, plays on the outside versus screen versus, kind of to the boundary, but across the line of scrimmage?
Hey, Coach, where can you buy a shirt that says you're muted? Do you know?
Bonfire.com /Talkin VAWLS /store.
Oh my gosh, you're so close. Oh, you're so close. That's the best. That's the best you've ever done. I'm proud.
That was pretty good.
Bonfire.com /store /Talkin VAWLS. That's where you can grab your Talkin VAWLS merch. Or we've got Christmas ornaments right now too. Go check it out.
Well, like Dustin was saying, when you're just throwing it out to the boundary quick, it's just a reaction play, right? Like there's no conflict. You're just flying. No, you're just flying to the ball. You know what I mean? Like you're just flying to the ball, and you need to go blow it up. When there's motions, when there's one of the things we really struggle with is, like, if there's a slant route in the slot, right? And then they run, let's say the wide receiver either deep or deep on a comeback and then run the swing off of it. Our linebackers just look like a baby that just pooped their pants and doesn't know which way to walk after. I mean, it's just that conflict, it has been really, really bad for them. I think some of it tonight, at least, had to do with youth. I really do. Like, Spillman is doing a better job with it. You can see him getting better at it. Perlotti's so fast that his feet can make up a lot of mistakes that he makes. If he, like, truly figures this game out mentally, watch out. Like, you're looking at a problem, even in the NFL at 6'4" and his size, a true problem. But their triangles, their fundamental read triangles, the linebackers have been not good. Our wall-offs have been not good. And then on top of that, the space we've been giving in the secondary has not been conducive to get things done. I was watching the Texas A&M game, right, in the second half, and what they did was they just tightened everything up. Like, if you go back to that game, watch where Texas A&M lines up when they line up in split coverage or off the ball. The Vols cornerbacks are given about 8 to 12 yards. A&M's, when they were given space, were given 4 to 5 yards, right? And if you think about that, right, like a receiver's going to break off the ball, right? And he's either going to throw like a hezzy into a whip route, or a hezzy into a slant, or a hezzy into a go, or a hezzy into a post, whatever he's going to do, right? So if you've given all that space and then one slants and one whips, all you have is space in front of you, right? And all you can do is react up. And if you make a bad play, if you don't tackle or you miss in that space, it just magnifies that error. I think that's maybe the simplest way I can put it without really getting a chalkboard out and starting to draw diagrams.
Right, and it starts to draw you away from the middle, and because we've struggled at times with the interior run game at times. What was it, the Mississippi State game, the most maybe? But when you start running things like that, if you adjust to it, now you have to take that from somewhere. You're moving somebody. You can't just add something somewhere without subtracting somewhere else. So once that spreads us out, and then we start getting that interior run game, which last couple of games it seems like getting Hobbs back and a couple of guys healthier, that's kind of gotten better, but we still have that issue there.
And even the Redmond pick, usually when you pick off a slant, you usually come underneath the ball, right? If you think about it, that ball was a little high and a little behind, which is why he was able to come from up top and pick it. I mean, maybe if you get like a really good break and you have inside technique, right? Like say you're inside underneath instead of outside underneath, or just regular over top or something like that. If you're playing inside underneath, you have a good shot at picking it, but they haven't been doing that. Even though he was playing underneath on that play, he was playing over top, right? So even though it was an underneath coverage scheme, he's playing over top, and it's like those two things shouldn't even happen in a sentence. And that's part
of a well-placed ball might have got him beat there.
Yeah, I do. I think a well-placed ball, a nice pass from Boogie over the center, and the slot receiver presses the fall down button right away. Yeah, I think it can beat it, right?
Yeah.
So
because otherwise you're chasing him, right?
Right. You want to stay in that hip pocket, and you want to be able to duck underneath or bat around if the ball is high and up top. And I mean, he showed how great he is with his feet, shows how great he was with his hands, that he was there to make that play, but still not the position that I kind of wanted him in that play. I thought Redmond played a good game, though.
Yeah, there's some comments in the chat real quick about the tip pass. So we got the pick six on. What was the player's name that caught that?
William Wright, man.
Right.
Y'all segued away. That's one of the guys I'm fired up about.
Yeah.
To be a guy that stuck with Tennessee, he's a walk-on to make that play. I love seeing that. Seeing that.
And the fact that he ran to it. He ran to and threw that ball. It wasn't like, let's like four of us.
He went and took it, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Because you could see the New Mexico State guy waiting for it, and he just went out and took it, right?
Yes.
Like he made the play there. So hats off to him, and I love seeing the team get around a guy like that when they get a big play.
Yeah, and that's the kind of flashes that we need more of.
What's funny is, I mean, he's a guy that he's played a lot of meaningful snaps. Like when we're talking about him being in the two deep because of the injuries at corner, I mean, he was on the field for the game we beat Alabama last year. Like he's out there at the end of the game. But yeah, it's good to see him go out there and make a play like that. Let me catch back up with the chat. Jacob Farrer has been a member for 8 months. If you're not a member, hit the join button. Only $1. That's it. It's $1. If you got $1, we'll take the $1. We need the $1. So hit that join button and give us that $1. He says Perlotti is an animal. GBO. He just doesn't bring his arms with him. Justin Goforth.
Wrap up.
For 5 says we had better DB play tonight. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you. GBO 2000 for 10 says, why do I feel like I just watched the orange and white game? No real takeaways, just more worry about the interception trend.
Boogie, you want to break down what you thought about the orange and white game in depth?
No. No.
I can recap before you give me 30
thanks.
I can recap. I can recap my takeaways if you want. That'll take you about
Boogie's day for everybody.
5 to 10 seconds.
Breaking news.
By the way, Coach, nobody asked you about the orange and white game. Nobody did.
Nobody did.
No, but hey, look, in all seriousness, that we knew that going into this game. And I get it. I saw people comparing this to the Austin P game. I've seen people acting like it was such a horrible performance. Josh Heupel were you ever worried? Were you ever concerned? Did you ever play a team like this under Butch Jones and worry? Yeah, you did. Did you ever do it with Derek Dooley and worry? Of course you did. Did you ever do it with Jeremy Pruitt? Yep. All of the Josh Heupel, you're never worried in these games with Josh Heupel. He goes out, he handles business, but there's going to be no takeaways as you walk out of that game. Justin Goforth for 5 says, I would like to see more dump passes to the running backs when the defense is blitzing. Our running backs have great speed. I agree with that.
Great speed.
Mm-hmm.
They got to catch the football.
Yeah, that was gonna be my last topic before we moved on. I wish we could go back and make a tally of all the drop passes that they've dropped this year, and that same thing. And even tonight, one that was wide open to Star Thomas, he made up for it a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, that just goes back to the whole philosophy of everything we've been talking about, just like missed opportunities, missed plays when stuff is dialed up for you or everything else is covered deep. And he's wide open as a check down, and we dropped the freaking ball. I don't know how many times we've seen that this year. How many times?
Yeah.
Let me hit this other one real quick.
It's over 10. It's got to be over 10. I swear to God.
Got to be.
Valued client gifted 20 Talkin VAWLS memberships. That's the equivalent of $100 super chat. So we're going to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Shout out valued client. $100 is not cheap. 20 gifted memberships. We appreciate you, my friend. I want to talk about a little bit about the offensive line. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Boo Carter. But Dustin, you mentioned the offensive line and their struggles, and it feels like and it's not David Sanders, but it was when Dave came back and guys started moving around, and you took Jesse Perry from right tackle and you slid him inside the guard. I feel like there was an adjustment period there. Today, Jesse Perry didn't start, and Volquest said that he could be very limited just because, the same reason that Arian Carter didn't play today. Christian Gass, Jordan Ross, Josh Josephs, all those guys are playing today if you're playing the Gators, but you're not. You're playing New Mexico State. So all those guys, precautionary, set out. Now, Jesse Perry did come in when Wendell Moy went down hurt. He did come into the game. But, the first thing I look at is running the football. And it felt like Josh Heupel said, if we're frustrated with the offense and we didn't score enough points and we didn't go quick, it felt like he said, we're going to run the football or we're going to find a way to run the football. We're going to figure out how to run the football. Deshaun Bishop only averaged 5 yards a carry. Peyton Lewis, 4.2 yards per carry. Star Thomas, 6 per carry. Justin Baker, 3 yards per carry. Is that good enough? Is that good enough against New Mexico State? Are you concerned about the line of scrimmage? Are you concerned about the offensive line? Now, it's going to look different. It's going to look different when Jesse Perry's 100%. But what we talked about at the top of the show, it took you so long to get the starters out. You lost Wendell Moy Jr. Like, that's another guy. We'll have to see how hurt he is.
And Kinselman's huge in the run block game.
Huge. And I saw somebody asking if he had a broken bone.
Things.
I don't know if he has a broken bone. I don't know what the injury is.
It's not great. Whatever it is.
You can tie that full circle. Not only run blocking, pass protection. Joey's not going to. He is not the same when he gets pressured. Fowler, are you concerned about the offensive line these last 2 games?
Yeah. Yes.
You don't like that question.
Yeah,
that means you do. That means you are.
But it's not. It's in ways I shouldn't be, right? It's not like we're just getting blown up and Joey's running for his life every play. Like it looked like that at times against Oklahoma, but that's the best D line in the country. Them maybe A&M, but the part that worries me is we can't get this run game rolling. And I don't know. At first, we're like, well, we're having so much success in the air that we're just not doing it. And now it's like, okay, now we're trying. Okay, now we're really trying against New Mexico State. And early, it looked good. Maybe we should have stuck with it a little. I don't know. But it does seem like compared to the beginning of the season, we have regressed a little bit. But what I'm saying is I still feel better than I did last year. And that's no shot at anybody. I still feel a lot better than I did last year. It just seems I really just wanted to see them handle business today. And I felt like we just went through the motions and did what we needed to do. Yeah. Like when you had to have it or when we did what we needed to do to get a win. And it seemed like, I don't know if it's because so many guys aren't starting. This isn't offensive line, but I'm just saying as a team mentality wise, where you have so many guys sitting out and you're trying to get guys in. And does it just make everybody, including the offensive line, just kind of move at half speed sometimes? And you got to look at this other team, give them credit. It's like they're not coming out there for practice. They're coming out there to play, man. It means a lot to them. So can that cause us to look a little worse than maybe it really was? Because it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was bad. I just felt like you didn't look. The talent gap didn't look as broad as it should have. Is that a good way to like describe that? Because it's like we did what we needed to do, but I do think it didn't look as sharp and as clean as I would like to going back into an SEC game next week.
Is that a motivational thing? Does that concern you guys moving forward?
That's what I'm saying.
As we've been talking about for 2 weeks, how do you motivate this team?
But the starters were there on offensive line, right? Like there's no excuse. You know, and real quick on the rushing side of it, how many yards did Joey? I know he had the one big one, but like how many yards did that buff the rushing total to? You know, did he give it a little extra there? So I would have liked to seen a little more dominance, I guess, from the offensive line today.
Yeah, and as a unit, I think
I think they'd say the same.
Yeah, and as a whole, I think we'd all agree that this unit, including a couple of the second string guys, whether that's Perry or Sham or whatever, as a whole, I think they're more talented than what we had last year. I think we would all agree that. But like you said, Boogie, going back to your original point, did something get askew with them playing musical chairs there, and they're still catching up from that? Obviously, you want to play Sanders, and he's the big stud 5-star guy, but then it's just like dominoes. Everybody else has to shift from there. Has that shown up? Whereas before before he was getting meaningful snaps, things were running a lot smoother. No pun intended on the run game, but yeah.
Was that a mistake early? Like early in the season, Dustin, do you think that was a mistake by making everybody shift when you rotate one guy? We talked about it back then and we were like, well, as long as it works. But I mean, shifting everybody, you don't see anybody else do that.
Yeah.
And I know you say, well, one guy can do this, one guy can do that, but
right. It's got to be hard. It's like if I'm right-handed and I'm all of a sudden having to play left-handed for 1 week or two, and then I have to go, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think people appreciate the difference.
Coach, what's the number one thing they talk about when it comes to a unit on the offensive line?
He wanted to rattle off 7 things. He was going to say 7.
You knew it.
What's the cliche? What's the cliche thing?
Just that you get 5 guys who always play in the same spot, and you get them playing cohesively.
Consistency.
Yeah. Got Boogie knew. I was like, I wanted to say 8.
I thought he was going to say communication. He was going to be like communication, footwork. I
was like, well, hold on, let me get my giant
spot.
piece of paper list out here, and I'll tell you what exactly they need to do.
You said name the number one thing, and 8 things hit him in the face. I know, I could see it. He's like, well, here we go.
No, but just playing together, playing cohesive, you nailed it. It's they can slide around, you can move around, sure, but you need to be an expert. It's better to have continuity and to become an expert at one thing. When you defend everything, you defend nothing, right? So
I mean, certainly it really is like going from right-handed to left-handed, because you're switching your drop steps and hand placement and which hand you're firing with. Like, there's a lot of differences flipping side to side, and it's not as universal as it is on like EA when we're just moving a guy from right side to left side because he's got a 99 stat here or there. It's not that simple, so
and I'll use another cliche word. If you're not 100% comfortable or as comfortable as your primary spot, are you straining the way you normally could when you
are you thinking about it instead of acting?
So I think all those things are a factor, and it has shown up in the run game. Another last point I'll say, and we can move on, but do you guys think we had more success in the run game in previous years when it wasn't 12 personnel all the time?
Well, yes.
In space, more space.
We've led the conference in rushing the last 2 years, which we did play a little bit of 12 personnel last year too.
Sure.
But we still played wider. Like we brought it in a lot tighter this year. And then you also, whether people want to hear it or not, Nico is just much more of a threat to run the ball than Joey is. That doesn't mean Joey's doesn't hit the deep ball, not a gunslinger, and doesn't have a better year. All that stuff two things can be true, guys. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm just saying that he's gonna freeze that Leo a little more. He's gonna freeze that outside linebacker a little more. He's gonna hold that safety just a second longer when they're coming downhill on a run. and also the space. The space I think is much larger of a point than the Nico point, but I think they do work together to some degree.
And it's like I'll toss it back up to you, Biggie, but it almost feels counterproductive because how many times we've seen it 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 in big moments in this game when we get these big bunch of formations and it just gets cluster effed all over the place. Whereas I feel like it suits it better to do play action off of it. It seems like it works better, in that regard versus like, being obvious and having the super wide split. So, I don't know. That's just something I've kind of noticed at a blind's eye view.
I also think it speaks volumes when you're in a short yardage situation and you need a conversion. Alabama goal line right before the half. What do? You throw the football. Oklahoma, what do? You throw the football. You ran the same freaking play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same play when it's you have to convert. You're running a little play action and throwing it in the flats to the tight end. That tells me you don't have confidence in this team to go out and run the football. I mean, you're playing New Mexico State. That's why it stands out so much to me. You couldn't go out there and just push New Mexico State around. You couldn't. So all good points there, though.
Yeah, almost didn't get in the goal line at 3rd and goal. I hate to sound old school, but there were times in the past where we were kind of like clapping our hands. We're like, okay, we're going under center here. Just when it's appropriate. Because
that was something I was going to bring up. It's like, why? I'm not saying all the time, but like if you're in a 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, why can't we get under center and run a sneak? Everybody does it except us. Everybody does it.
Yeah,
that's a huge one for me. But that's side note. Do you think these little check downs and stuff that we refuse to take, these little dump offs and little pressure release valves, if you will, like you think that's keeping it, like letting people just pin their ears back because they're like, it's deep ball or bust. He's either going to hand it off or it's a deep ball and I got time to get to him. Because there's times, I mean, where these linebackers are vacating, where these edge guys are coming off the edge, and we got these little check downs, whether it be to the running back or it be to a tight end or be whoever. I mean, they're not just open; they're just standing there by themselves, 2 or 3 yards. And I know it's not a home run, but it keeps your drive alive and it keeps pressure out of Joey's face and it takes some pressure off these linemen who don't have to hold a block for 3-4 seconds. Mm-hmm. And I just wonder. Is that a combination? Because last year we were doing those things and we weren't hitting the deep ball. We're all like, we got to hit deep ball, got to hit deep ball. When in reality, can we just balance it a little bit? Would that help? And I'm asking this openly because I don't know the answer. Would that help the run game by just opening up the offense a little bit, getting some underneath stuff rolling to where you can't just deep ball or bust, run game, deep ball bust. You know what I'm saying? Like there's got to be something else for the defense to look at.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? Give them more things that they have to cover, and that's going to open up your offense. I think if you take the underneath stuff against Oklahoma, you win that football game.
I agree.
Period.
I agree. I was screaming it from the rafters in Neyland.
I think that when they do attack the middle of the field, when they hit that crossing stuff, they've hit Mike Matthews a lot. They've hit Chris Brazel a lot with those crossers. They're there.
And Joey's taking some shots, man, that he don't have to take.
Mm-hmm. Where is that little halfback screen we saw early in the season where I'm celebrating and going nuts and I'm trying to get Coach A on board? He goes, now, Boogie, we don't need to see that 7 times a game. I'm like, Coach, I want to see it just 7 times in a season. We've not seen that play since then.
Yeah, I was just
opens up the offense even more.
Yeah, I was just about to say the eye candy that we saw the first 3 games against Syracuse and Georgia, it's like it's completely disappeared. And that's why I brought up the 12 personnel thing. It's like you could run so much off of it, but it seems to be, I hate to use the word predictable, but a lot of times it just gets so clustered.
Short yardage definitely is.
Yeah, and it's just so we're either dumping it off to like a little tight end thing that hasn't worked twice. We've seen that now in crucial times of the game. Or it's getting, I did like seeing tonight, I'll end this on the positive. I did like seeing tonight some stuff ran out to the boundary more. I think that's something that we haven't seen a ton of. But I've definitely noticed the lack of, like, when this season started and we saw those first couple of games, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. This is a nice little twist to things that they've done in the past. It's like similar, but it's not the exact same. And I just feel like as the season's gone on, that's gotten more and more conservative, I think. And I don't really know the reason why.
Let me hit this super chat real quick. MD Balls for 20 will play the clip. That is an Orange Boy, and we appreciate that.
Rocky Top!
MD Ball says we better have our motor running next week because Florida isn't going to lay down. If you want me to flare up your battered Vol syndrome, Florida on top of Ole Miss right now, 21-20. By the time they roll around into the swamp to take on Tennessee next week, they will be the 85 Bears. Now, if Tennessee does find a way to win that game, then the narrative is going to be that Florida sucks this year. It is also a no-win game coming up next weekend in the swamp. We got to switch gears. We got to talk about Boo Carter because there's a lot of drama there. We're going to go and we're going to do that. What's the matter with you, Fal? What are you swatting flies out of your face?
No, I'm swatting this the Boo thing frustrates me.
Let me tell you something. You have to talk about it because if you've been hanging around the Talkin VAWLS network, there has been a story that has been progressing in the news that came out of kickoff.
I'm with you.
You have to talk about it. It's big. We're going to talk about it. But I need you guys to do me that YouTube stuff and smash the thumbs up. Only 100 people have hit that thumbs up. We got almost 300 watching live. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel. You can also go grab some Talkin VAWLS merchandise. Coach doesn't know where, which is why we put the link in the description below for him. He will always point you there, and it is always there. But it's also bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can see there on the screen, you guys asked for a Buck Fama Christmas ornament, so we created a Buck Fama Christmas ornament. You can go and you can pick one up. Don't tell your wife. Just grab one, put it on the back of the Christmas tree. She'll never know it. But we also have the TM theme Christmas ornament. We got a Talkin VAWLS tumbler. We got a TM theme tumbler, coffee mugs, and then all the regulars, T-shirts, hats, logos of Talkin VAWLS Network. We got parody shirts like the VWO shirt because if you're Talkin VAWLS, you're Talkin VAWLS for life. We've also got rivalry shirts, Buck Fama, FUGA, Gator Hater, all that good stuff. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, if you're not a member, hit the join button. It's $1. Only $1. That's it. Helps keep the lights on around here. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's talk about Boo Carter. And this has been dragging out all throughout the offseason. You guys know the story. We don't need to retell the whole story of missing the meetings and all that stuff. Josh Heupel having to address it, the leadership council being involved. But then Boo's he's not been bought in. He's not been dialed in. That's one man's simple opinion. That's how I feel about it. This morning on VolQuest, bright and early, I wake up and I see a post. And you guys know how a message board is. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's not. And it says that I received a text message from somebody that's connected and in the know that says Boo Carter has been kicked off the football team. So the gears are turning. Do we talk about this? Do we not? You guys know the deal. For the fans, by the fans. We speculate. Some people hate that. You shouldn't talk about this, Boogie. You're not allowed. Well, guess what? Then you're not allowed to talk to your buddy on the back deck. That's what this channel is. We're going to speculate. We're going to talk about it. And then when I saw this tweet from John Bryce, I said, there's some smoke here. There is some smoke here. John Bryce says that Boo Carter expected to be absent with a hip flexor today. Now, absent meaning he's not going to play in the game. Now, this is where business starts to pick up. Austin Price posted right at kickoff. This is what he says. Boo is not here. Now, I've seen some people on Twitter. I've seen some people commenting and saying, Boogie, other people have missed games. This is not a big deal. Okay, well, let's go through the rest of it. Austin Price says, does he have a minor hip deal? Yes, but he also fielded punts on Thursday, and he had not showed up to the game as of a few minutes ago. No big deal. Other people missed, right? He says Heupel won't be able to say if Boo no-shows. He won't be able to say it is an injury if Boo no-shows. Tennessee has a certain number of kids each game that just meet at the stadium and don't come from the team hotel. Here's where it gets interesting. Boo was expected to be here today. So when your narrative is, well, other players have missed, Boo was expected to be here today. That's all you need to know. He didn't show up. We will see if he shows, but he has not to this point. After the game, Josh Heupel was asked directly about it. Here's the quote. At the end of the day, there is a standard you've got to meet to be in that locker room. He was not out on the field with us. That will be my last response related to that right now. Coach, thoughts? Boo Carter's not going to be a part of this football team anymore. That's my opinion.
Nah, he's gone. He's gone, and that's fine. He's been gone all year, right? Like, you don't need him on the field. He's just a detriment. And as we've all talked about, it's sad. It's unfortunate. You hope, look, I've said this before on this channel, and I'll say it about all the players. He doesn't belong here right now, but I hope he figures it out as a man, right? I just, that's not who I am. I don't wish ill upon people. I think he needs to grow up a lot. I think he needs to take some lumps and get a nice slice of humble pie. And after he gets that serving, I hope he grows up and I hope he learns from it and I hope he figures it out, because I think Boo's got a ton of talent and he can be great. But you can't be great with that kind of attitude, that kind of mentality, that kind of chaos in your life. Just can't. It's impossible. So I hope he figures it out. It just unfortunately can't be here anymore.
You know, and you can also, as a coach, you can hope that Boo figures it out. You can wish him the best and also move on from Boo Carter, right? And maybe we had this conversation back in the early in the fall after fall camp when all the drama was going on. We kept saying maybe this is what Boo needed to kind of turn that corner and move in the right direction. And it wasn't. You know, he had his opportunity. He got his second chance. He may have got third, fourth, and fifth chances. I have no idea. Maybe this maybe this is what he needs to truly turn that corner. And again, you hope Boo figures that out, and you hope he does turn that corner. But if not, Josh Apple's got to make this move.
Yeah, and you already know this, but for the couple hundred people watching, I'm not shrugging or waving off Boogie. It's the whole Boo thing, and I'm just frustrated from a fan standpoint, but also as somebody who's been on a team and had teammates and played beside somebody. It's just unfortunate for all parties involved. But man, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. I hate to say that because I mean he's a young kid. I hope he figures it out. But man, like, how many people want your opportunity? How many people would give anything in their lives up to be standing where you're standing and have the opportunities you have, and to just throw it away in front of everybody, throw it in your teammates' faces that gave you an extra chance, throw it in your coaches' faces that gave you an extra chance. And if you don't care about those people, fine, man, that's fine. But like, that's just a hard image for me to take in, to see it go down like that. I just don't understand it. And for me, when I shrug it off, it's like, I want to talk about the kids who did line it up on the field and did put the pads on and did show up for Tennessee today. And anytime I start talking about somebody who didn't perform, that went out there and just didn't play well, somebody who just gave up on themselves, gave up on their teammates, gave up on their coaches, gave up on the fan base. Anybody that does that, if that's true, you know, and all year long, I've been probably the world's worst to say, I don't know all the facts. I don't want to say anything. I don't know all the facts. I don't want to jump in because I never like to pile on a kid. I don't like it. I'm not out there suiting up, so I don't feel like I get to do that. But in a situation like this, when you just quit, when you just quit on your teammates like that, I don't even want to give you my time. I don't want to take time away from us talking about other kids who went out there, even if they went out there for one play and put it on the line. I'd rather talk about those kids because this is just ridiculous, man. Like the summer, it was ridiculous. They gave you an opportunity you probably a lot of places wouldn't have got, maybe shouldn't have got. And this comes back to, like, if we're going to talk about what it does to the team, like if a coach, okay, like we just seen Brian Kelly get fired. Well, now they're going over, should you pay him, should you not? Because just cause if he did something, if he didn't do something. We need something in these NIL contracts. And I'm not saying the kids have to perform because I'm not saying it needs to be incentive based. But if you just flat don't show up, you should not get paid. Now, you can take it however you want to about should players get paid, should they not get paid? That's not the argument here. Players are getting paid to play. And if you don't play well, you're still getting paid. Cool. But if you just flat don't show up, you shouldn't be getting paid. And then maybe, just maybe the wallet's what is going to wake you up. Maybe it shouldn't have to be that, but maybe that's what it is. Maybe if when your paycheck ain't coming in because you didn't show up to work today, maybe you'll show up tomorrow. Or when you're fired, maybe you'll show up and be like, give me one more chance, coach. I'll show up. Just keep paying me. And when you get your check, but whenever they get it, way back whenever everybody's NIL deals get done, once that money's in the bank account, some of these kids, they don't. I mean, it's It's playing out in front of us, man. They don't care about anything else. I got what I needed. I'm good.
It's
The hell with y'all.
It's like
it's hard for me to take in as
Mm-hmm.
as somebody who's ever coached, as somebody who's ever played, who's ever just been a fan around the sport. Something that we take this sport probably too seriously at times. But people live and die this and breathe this stuff every day, and for you to just piss all over it, man, I got nothing for you, man. I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to waste a segment on somebody like that.
it's just like Will Brooks would probably give his left toe to have the talent that Boo
That's the
Carter
message
has.
I sent y'all today.
But what did I say to that though? What did I say
And
to
you're
that?
both right. You're both right. It's all right.
Does Will Brooks have that mindset? Does Will Brooks have that drive? If he's got that talent,
I don't
can
know.
change a man, right?
Probably not. Probably
But
not.
it's like,
You've had it your whole life.
you man, when
Hard
you're
work
gifted
beats talent. When talent don't work hard, bull crap. Talent can take you a long way, baby.
It
way.
can. It's just when you're gifted with something like that, you got to respect the gifts God gives you, man. Is the way I look at it. Because somewhere in Tennessee, last Friday night, probably played their last high school game as a safety, and probably worked their ass off every single day to be a great football player and dreamed of playing safety at the University of Tennessee, and then just to watch someone go in there with all the talent in the world to piss it away and not give two shits, it's just disrespectful, man. It sucks.
Yeah, it's what they call wasted talent. We've seen this more than once already in our program. I think my biggest issue with it is the mentality, because didn't they have renegotiations to keep him in the first place?
Yep.
Yes.
So it's like it's and Michael Jordan brought this up too years ago on Oprah. I don't know if y'all seen the clip, but he's talking about how these kids are in turn made to feel unmotivated because they're already getting paid before they've done anything. And I think there's some truth to that. It's one thing if things aren't working out and you're not getting the playing time and you finish the year and you like to go elsewhere. That's one thing. But to be for the layman football watcher like us to be able to see somebody give up on the field, you got to go. I mean, you have to go, let alone all the stuff we don't see.
Right.
Know, and so it's like you can't have it both ways. And, I hate it for our other players because he's got the talent that we could have used him this year. But, once you cross that line again and again, you have to, just like the Nico situation, you have to cut your losses and move on.
I think we'll tie a big fat bow on the Boo Carter drama. You got to talk about it, right? I get where Fowles coming from on it, but when you run a YouTube channel, you have to talk about it. People want you to talk about it.
And it's not. And sorry to interrupt you. It's not just Boo Carter and Nico Iamaleava, but it's the bigger picture that it paints for college football as a whole, for getting paid, for all those things that is just like, it's a moral dilemma at this point. It's not just like X's and O's and players and talent and all that kind of stuff. It's just like any other business, when big money gets involved, big egos get involved.
I'm sure this is quick because it's not us, but I'm sure y'all seen the quarterback. He plays for a MAC team. I can't remember the team, but he quit on his team this week. Just quit. They were in line to go for a play for a MAC championship. He just quit and said, "I'm preparing for the NFL draft." Just quit. Nothing wrong with him. Just quit. I mean, that's like, what are we doing, fellas? Like, this is a team sport. It's a team sport, and I'm not out here boxing for myself and say, I'm not going to take this bum fight over here because I don't want to get hurt. That's a team sport.
And that's what I'm saying. It's even bigger
Your teammates
than that.
bleed into you, man. They gave you energy. They gave you support. They're there for every rep in the off season, in the weight room. They're spotting you every day. Like they're blood, sweat, and tears right there with you, man. And for you just to say, that's wild to me, man. I couldn't do it. If I walked on a team of people I didn't know, I couldn't quit like that.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is it's an even bigger picture with the way the world, while working 9 to 5 when I can go, make a funny video online that goes
Hey,
viral.
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could
take
just
that
create a
personally.
YouTube
I
channel,
take that-
screw around all week,
I
Yeah,
take that personally.
You're putting out like information.
play video
I'm talking
games.
about like
Yeah.
Hey,
Stream.
Boogie,
Yeah.
Boogie, when you
Everyone
start,
grab your pitchforks. Let's get
when
them.
you start when you get so desperate
got
you're
the torch?
showing your feet, then I'm out. So
I'm about to get close, Dustin. It's a post game show, and we got 200 people watching. I'm getting close to showing Boogie's toes on here and see if we can get some super chats rolling in so I can pay some bills.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
Oh, and Miss J wanted me to inform the whole chat not to worry about how skinny GMAC is. She's going to feed him when she gets to Tennessee.
Oh my gosh,
the next couple days.
She,
she says she's going to bring him some carbs, some pizza, and put a little meat on those arms because she said he was looking a little Tyler Bray-esque.
He's 6'6".
oh, so she had the hots for Tyler Bray too. Is that what I'm hearing?
Uh-oh.
Breaking news.
That's
on
all right. I'm out of here.
I'm gonna have to get Coach Jay some stilts. He ain't nowhere near 6'6", not even close. You have to get that man some stilts.
I'm
All right,
5'11 3/4. I have.
Talking
Hey, bro, that's inside baseball. That's inside baseball. It's already happened
That's
on
some
this
Tuesday
channel.
stuff.
That you guys don't show up on Tuesdays. If you did, you would get that joke. It's a problem.
Talking VAWLS lore.
Talking toes, baby.
Talking toes.
Somebody put talking toes in the chat.
Miss J's about to shut this whole stream down.
She's about to come.
Back on track, Boog. What you got for us?
I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, what I was going to say is, hey, look, Tennessee took care of business. No matter what happened today, it is what it is. They won. We move ahead. And again, nothing changed for me. Nothing changed for me. Now, sitting here watching Florida on top of Ole Miss, all I can do is shake my head and laugh, right? It's happening all around the country. Alabama just got beat by Oklahoma. The Oklahoma team that we lost to and everybody said sucked. Oklahoma sucks. How can we lose to Oklahoma? Well, they just beat Alabama. Does Alabama suck? Parity in college football. We'll see what Florida Gators team shows up. My mind's not changed. I made you guys go all in. Are you 9-3? Or are you 7-5? And I saw so many people comment on that live stream and go, I'm 8-4. That's against the rules. Where are you at, Dustin? If I said you had to be 9-3, wins over Florida and Vanderbilt, or you're going to lose both and go 7-5, and you're going to, where do you think this team's at heading into these last two games?
We're going to go 9-3. They're going to pull some magic out of the hat, and they're going to finally play 2 complete games, both sides of the ball, limit them mental errors that have killed us all year. And I think that's what's pissed me off more than anything is I think we talked about this on a previous show. The talent gap isn't really the problem anymore. Are we up there with the Ohio States and elites? You know, maybe not quite, but that's not nearly as much of the problem in my eyes as the self-inflicted wound. So cleaner football, execute. 9-3.
We'll see what Tennessee does. You go beat Florida in the Swamp. I think Neyland's going to be a good environment for that Vanderbilt game. You lose to Florida, a lot of people are done with this football team. I think a lot of people are already done with this football team. And I don't know that a lot of people's fair. Maybe some casual fans are done with this football team, the apathy, they just don't care. Falming, how was the environment for the Oklahoma game? It felt like on TV, it was not as loud and electric as I expected, but I wasn't there. It was TV.
So you hit the nail on the head. Going into the game, everything was just what you'd expect. Great environment. All the pregame stuff's going on dark mode. Everybody's fired up, and it got loud at times. But what happened? And I was talking to my buddy who hadn't been there in a big game like that. He'd been to a couple, but he hadn't been there in a big game. And I was like, it was the way the game played out was kind of keeping the crowd out of it, because we would go on these long drives, so we're not making a lot of noise, right? So. But we didn't get the points at the end. And then Oklahoma would go on these little short 3-and-outs early in the game. And they would go on these little short drives, crowds into it, but just for a little bit because it's just a couple plays. And then we're right back on offense, chugging down the field back and forth, and the whole crowd's silent. And then you go right back to get a quick 3-and-out. There's really not a lot of noise there. So it wasn't so much the environment not living up to it. It's just the way the game played out. And I think if you went back and looked at the drive charts, you'd see what I was saying. But it wasn't like the crowd didn't quit on them. It wasn't like they gave up on the team or said, they're not playing well. We're not getting involved. It wasn't that at all. It was just the flow of the game took the crowd out of it. And it wasn't even, you'd like to credit Oklahoma, and late you could, but in the first half, it was just ourselves. Defense was playing well, so we're getting on the field and off, and then the offense is kind of getting clunky, and nobody's making any noise during that. So, and the way I was sitting, I got to watch every one of those field goals trickle over that goalpost. And when I say it went over the post by this much, I'm talking this much 2 or 3 times. But
how was the view of those little tiny pants on that kicker? Did you get a good view, buddy?
The Daisy Dukes,
tiny little,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Hey, if he had knee pads on, those are short. They're 2 yards short.
That's right. That's right.
There was no room for knee pads. There was absolutely zero room for knee pads. But
the reason I bring that up is because I think you go handle business in the swamp, and we've not done that since 2003. But you go take care of business in the swamp. I think people hate Diego.
Neyland will be rocking.
I think Neyland will be rocking for that game. Yes, it's sad, and it breaks my heart that I'm sitting here talking about playing spoiler against Vanderbilt. But, man, take some pride in that. Oh, Vanderbilt's going to go win the Heisman and go to the college football playoff. No, take that from them. Take that from them. It was taken from you. Now go take it from Vanderbilt. I think that's why when I look at this thing, it's like, man, it kind of seems like it's either 9-3 or 7-5. There is no in between. There is no 8-4. We're going to call it a night. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. No, we're not, because Todd wants to drop a $5 super chat. He says, I'm 9-3. Worst case scenario, if we finish 7-5, I'm still screaming for my Vols. Shout out Todd. But here's the reality, Todd. If this team finishes 7-5, we got to have some hard conversations on this channel, because 7-5 is not acceptable. In no way, shape, or form is that acceptable. And I said this when I was on Locked On Vols. Kaner asked me what should be the goal every year. The goal should be college football playoff. That should be the goal every single year. That doesn't mean you're going to achieve that goal, but you better be knocking on the door of that goal every single season. So when the opportunity's there, you can take it. And 7-5 is not knocking on that door. 7-5 is a disappointment. 7-5, we're going to have some serious conversations on this channel. Conversations that maybe some people probably want me to have. Some people want to say, oh, this Sunshine Pumper, what's he going to do when we're 7-5? You're going to find out. You don't want to hear Boogie be on the opposite side of this thing. You don't want to hear Boogie when it was time to get rid of Jeremy Pruitt. You don't want to hear those rants. Maybe some of you do. Daniel's been a member for 36 months. We appreciate that. Looks like I spoke too soon on Florida checking out. Let the battered Vol syndrome flow in you. 24-20. Gators on top of Ole Miss at the half. Let's go watch that game. I'm going to get some sleep. I'll be right back here bright and early tomorrow morning with the day after video. Make sure you tune in for that. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, me, Coach Jay, are going to kind of rewatch this game, talk about it, and then we're going to get you guys on probably a little bit earlier than normal for the fan call-in show. Monday morning, Kaner will be in the house at 9 a.m. Tuesday night, we're going to play some video games at 6:30, but we're going to have a good time. We streamed until almost 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday night. It is a good time. Come check it out. Come hang out. But that is going to do it for this one. For Coach, I almost said for Dauber, who's never here anymore. For Dustin, for Foul Ming, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and